Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley and today I wanted to talk about how to take care of yourself while you are in the newborn phase with your baby. When I became a first-time mom 4 years ago, I did not think that this was something that I needed to do, but I feel like if I had done this, I would have been more prepared for the newborn phase. I don't think even before I became a mom, I knew what a newborn's sleep schedule would be like at all. One thing I did do to prepare for postpartum was to do freezer meals. That's what everyone talks about. Make sure you make freezer meals, you have a plan for dinner, and that was a huge help, and we'll definitely talk about that in this video. But first, I wanted to talk about a newborn's schedule, a sleep schedule. Obviously, a newborn's sleep schedule is a little bit all over the place, but this is just kind of the basics of a typical newborn sleep schedule, and I think it's good to know before you go into being a new mom. So a typical newborn schedule can look something like this. Baby will wake up and be hungry and want to feed. After you feed them, depending on how much sleep they've gotten already, if it's the daytime or the nighttime, they will be awake for up to 45 minutes. This is the part that I really didn't know. If your baby has been up for much longer than that, you will want to actively try to put the baby back to sleep. I've found that newborns typically will put themselves to sleep. If your baby is not doing that, it may be helpful to try to rock them, swaddle them, try to get them back to sleep, because being awake for much longer than 45 minutes could cause them to be overtired, and that might be harder to get them down. The way that I do it is to wake them up after 2 to 3 hours, especially before they've hit their birth weight again. And then at night, I will wake them up every 3 to 4 hours to feed until they hit their birth weight, and then you can kind of allow them to set their own schedule. After they have hit their birth weight, though, I personally make sure that I try to get in as many feeds during the day as possible. So I probably would wake them up every 3 to 3.5 hours during the day, because sometimes when they're first born, they can sort of have their days and nights mixed up, and they might want to sleep a lot during the day, but then that means that they will need a lot of calories at night. So just a helpful tip. And then when they wake back up again, they'll want to eat. So then the cycle just goes over and over and over. Obviously in the beginning, it's very all over the place. So, they might wake up after 30 minutes and want to eat again. They might cluster feed and want to eat on and off again around the clock, especially in the evening time, but just something to be aware of. The reason that I find it's important to prepare for the sleep schedule is because then you can kind of a little bit picture what your day might look like once baby is here, and you can kind of see that there might be a 1 to 3-ish hour during the day that you will be able to care for yourself. You'll be able to shower, eat, do whatever you want to do. Obviously in the beginning you will be recovering yourself, so you'll be most likely resting as much as possible during that time, but it kind of just gives a little bit of a framework to look at. That's the point of it, not really to tell you what your baby's going to do or not do, because anything can happen, obviously, and all babies are different. So don't expect this to happen for sure, but just kind of a framework. So then to prepare for how you will take care of yourself, when it comes to sleeping, I have 2 sleep tips that have helped me quite a bit. I have 2 boys, one who is 4 and one who is 2. I'm currently pregnant with my 3rd baby, who is a girl. So I've been through it a couple times, and I have found 2 tips that have really helped me try to stay on top of my sleep. The first tip is to try to go to bed early in the day, like anywhere from 7 to 9 p.m., so that as you're waking up throughout the night, if you sleep until 7 or 9 a.m., it's a 12-hour stretch, but obviously baby will be waking up at least every 1 to 4 hours throughout the night, most likely. So all of the times that you add up together where you're sleeping will hopefully reach to be about 6 to 8 hours, and I have found that I am feeling decently well rested if I do that. That's my number one tip. The second tip I have is if you are, say, a night owl and you don't really want to go to bed early and you want to go to bed at like 10 or 11, then I would suggest using, the silly sleep when the baby sleeps, at least for 1 or 2 times during the day, because I feel like if you go to bed too late and wake up too early, then the sleep deprivation will really catch up with you. But I've found that with either of these tips that at least the overall in 24 hours amount of time that you will be getting to sleep is anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. And that's, I think, important to not fall too behind on your sleep. If you're only getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep for a consecutive amount of time, that will really start catching up and you'll really start to feel it. So then when it comes to eating, again, this might seem kind of silly, but to prepare now for when baby is here and you are spending all of your time taking care of them, it's really helpful to have a game plan in place on how you will feed yourself. So something I like to do before I have a baby is to plan out easy breakfasts, lunches, and dinners so that I have an idea before I go into the newborn phase what I'm going to eat. So for example, with breakfast, obviously like granola bars, protein shakes, smoothies, cereal, anything like that. And then lunches could be any kind of prepared frozen meal or leftovers for dinner. And then, like I said earlier, for dinners, I did a lot of frozen meals, which are honestly amazing. You literally just take them out of the freezer, you either defrost them or you just throw them right into the oven, and they were honestly a lifesaver, especially for us with our first baby, because things did not go according to plan, and we were not in the mindset to like be wanting to cook dinner every night or anything like that. So something else that I did not consider before I became a mom that I wish someone had prepared me for was it can be really helpful to sit down now and to make a list of things that really make you feel like you, that are not actual needs. So things like reading or cooking or taking a bath, things like doing your hair or going out for coffee, the things that you regularly do in your day. I find that it actually can be really helpful to sit down now and figure out what those foundational things are, and then maybe even write them down so that when you become a mom, when things are very intense and you are taking care of a baby all the time, it might be helpful now to prepare for, after you've recovered a bit, maybe even after the baby's a month old or something, once you're in a little bit more of a groove, to schedule in time where you decide for yourself, whether it be once a day, once a week, however often you feel comfortable, but to do these things, it seems kind of crazy, but these things are very easy to let go of when you are learning to be a new mom. And I didn't really make time for anything like that, and I think maybe it would have helped me to transition better into being a mom to have done these. And then the last little thing that I feel like is important to prepare for postpartum, which is probably something that you're already doing, is to actually take care of your physical needs during postpartum. So putting together a little postpartum kit where you already have it maybe in a basket or something, where you can put in like pads, Tux pads, the little peri bottle that maybe they give you from the hospital, or you could purchase one beforehand. Maybe making padsicles that you can put in the freezer. I did that. You can search for YouTube videos or blogs. I found ones online that I just made. They're very easy. That can be really helpful, obviously, to have those things already in a specific place in your house so that when you come home you don't have to go around looking for them. And then lastly, I just wanted to leave you with 2 quick tips that I think might be helpful. The first one is to get dressed every day, whether it be in the morning or in the afternoon. I found that it's easy to stay in your pajamas, but it can really help a lot for your mental health to actually get dressed. And the second one is to have your husband or support person, someone who's close to you that you trust, take care of the baby in another room from you where you can't hopefully hear the baby, honestly, as little as 10 to 15 minutes or up to an hour or two. If you can do that every day, I think that that can also make a big difference in your mental health. I truly think that these things could help a little bit with postpartum depression. Obviously, some of it is hormonal, and that's a different story, but it can help you not lose yourself as a new mom, to just think your own thoughts. When you're around your baby, you're going to always be thinking about what does the baby need and what can I do for the baby, even if they're sleeping. So it can be helpful, I think, to just get out of the room for a set amount of time where you're going to focus just on yourself. Ask yourself, what do you need? What can you do to care for yourself? And maybe this is the time when you look at that list that you make and you pick one of those. You paint your nails, you do your hair, you do your makeup if you enjoy those types of things. I think that that can really help. So I did put together a little bit of a workbook that kind of goes through the things that I just talked about, and it has a couple spaces where you can like jot down some notes for making a list of things that are like the foundational parts of who you are, and then writing down a few ideas for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you're interested in filling out the workbook for yourself, it is linked below. I would love it if you would comment below and let me know if any of these tips you think would be helpful. If you already are a first-time mom, if you have any tips, I would love to hear them myself. Comment below, and I'll see you in my next one.